Hey guys, Jengar here. Welcome to today's realistic review in which we are taking a look at the M.S.410. The French have arrived and they have come with a bang. There's a lot of planes to review and there's a lot of joy to be had, hopefully. I've started off with this review on this tier 2 plane at a 2.0 battle rating as we are unlocking the tree. This plane was not quite spaded when I did this, but it was close to it, and I tested the plane in test flight after that to verify my conclusions on the performance. It has a good acceleration, especially in a dive. Good energy retention as well, especially in the horizontal. It is less good in the vertical, it loses a lot of energy in the vertical, so be careful there. This is also due to the bad climb rate. It has a very decent roll rate, which is quite workable. Good stall speed as well in vertical maneuvers, that's quite positive. Although it does lose speed, it only stalls out very late, which is a very nice thing. And it stalls out in around 120 kilometers an hour, which is quite good for such stubby, heavy looking plane. It has average turn time though. It is not something to write home about. It is not bad either. It's definitely not a dedicated turn fighter, but it can turn with some planes, let's say. It's somewhere in the middle, average, as I said. So with that average turn time and the decent, very decent roll rate, I would call the maneuverability decent. It is workable. It also has a decent top speed in a dive at 718, which is quite nice if you compare it to the cruising speed, which is not so nice. So I would call it decently fast in a dive, but cruising in level flight is not so good, especially on the higher altitudes. At 4800 meters you have about 365 kilometers cruising speed, and at 6500 meters you accelerate up and towards 320 kilometers an hour. So it's not very fast. Like I said, it loses a lot of energy in the vertical. It has bad climb rate. It takes a lot of side climbing in this plane. Now for the armament of the plane, I would say the armament is quite good. It has one 20mm Hispano 404 cannon with 60 rounds for the gun, and I used universal for that. And it has 4 times 7.5mm Mach 1934 machine guns with 500 rounds per gun, for which I used stealth, and I used a 600 meter convergence in the plane. Now the machine gun ammo is quite nice with 500 rounds. You could pepper and spray a little bit with that. But the cannon ammo is quite low, of course, with 60 rounds. It is a relatively slow firing gun, and the velocity is also not too fast. So you need to lead a little bit with that, and the lead is a little bit different from the machine gun, so be aware of that. That's why I used universal for the cannon. Now the turn time, like I said, is average, but the flaps can be a little bit of a nice boost to that. The flaps do rip off though between 350 and 380 kilometers an hour, depending on what you're doing with the plane. So the rip off speed is not super high, which is unfortunate, but still 350 to 380, well, if you know your limitations, you can work with it, right? The plane also suffers from control stiffening above 500 kilometers an hour, and this becomes especially notable above 600 kilometers an hour. Now, especially the roll rate suffers from this. The elevator is a little bit better. You can still get out of your dive at 650, 700 kilometers an hour. I mean, you don't start 100 meters above the ground, of course, but the elevator is less touched by the control stiffening than the roll rate, which means that you can survive the dive, but you cannot really maneuver with a lot of planes when you are in the low part of your dive. As we get this kill under our belt for our third kill, we also have 2 assists. quite a nice match in this plane, as we're looking for the last fighter in this match. Now I think this plane is best usable in the boom and zoom role. With its cannon it can definitely destroy planes if used correctly, and with its speed in a dive it can make the dives well. It can also adjust up until about 550 easily, and above that you're gonna have to check which plane you're fighting and if their roll rate in a dive is better than yours. But yeah, boom and zooming is the way to go. I think in this plane the energy retention in the vertical is not good enough for it to be a good energy fighter, and the plane definitely is not a turn fighter. So I would keep it strict in the boom and zoom roll as much as you can, side climb a little bit in it, and I mean go up to 6k and work your way down from there. That seems to be the best way to operate this plane. Of course, at its battle rating it will also get down tiered against biplanes, and many pilots have not come into their own yet. I mean, there's a lot of level 100 players playing the lower levels as well, because everybody has a right to play whatever they want. So you'll meet good pilots now and then, but some of the fights, most of the fights will take place below 3000 meters, as per usual. That's basically always the case, if I'm being honest. Let's see if we can get our 4th kill. Yes we can, there he goes. You can see the devastating effect of that Hispano 404 cannon. It's really nice, but you only have 60 rounds. You do not need a lot of rounds on enemies, but you gotta be patient with your trigger happiness. 4 kills and 2 assists. Now we have got a few unlocks, because that of course was nice research points for the plane, and we basically spaded the plane with that match. Quite nice. Let's see, oh, we've got a few backup vehicles as well. Let's see what kind of rewards we got for that performance. Now quite a few special rewards. We've got Final Blow, the Best Squad, Terror of the Sky, Bulletproof, and On Hand, 61,000 Silver Lions, and almost 7,000 vehicle research. First place, I'll see you in the conclusion. Hey guys, so here we are after the match. Now that was fun, this first experience with the French 3. I flew out a little bit of the Narval, and I flew out a little bit of the first biplane, only one match I believe. But flew this one out for a couple of matches to spade it, and I had a lot of fun in this plane. Good guns, decent performance on the plane, all in all, and you can definitely make this work as a boom and zoomer. Awesome. But what I did not like on this plane, I mean the engine sound is quite nice, but it's pretty loud, I have to say. But I didn't like on this plane was the engine sound when you go from the side of the propeller. It gave a really weird sound which really got me out of my concentration a few times when I heard it for the first time. So it's definitely something to get used to. I don't know on how many planes they implemented this kind of side rotor sound. It really sounds like scratching to me, and I really didn't like that. From the front and from the back the plane sounds pretty decent. I just think they made it too loud compared to the other sounds in game, and you can't hear anything else anymore. What I'm really disappointed by is that I can't hear my enemy plane so well anymore because of the loud noises of the engine. And what I wanted to ask you guys, I don't know if you guys know this, but if you put your engine volume lower, does that also put the engine volume of the enemies lower? Because if my engine sounds a little bit lower but I can still hear the enemy's engine sound, then I'm fine. But if not, if that also lowers the enemy engine sound, I am doing it for nothing. What I'm basically pointing at is the 10%, 15% extra performance by hearing planes approach that you missed while scanning. This has saved my life countless of times, and I'm afraid that I'm gonna lose that little bit of an edge with these engine sounds. I don't know, this is the first plane I flew extensively next to the Narwhal, which I also flew 3 matches so far, but yeah, I don't know, man. I gotta fly more planes out, and before I put a definite conclusion on that, Some parts of the engine sounds I like, but some parts I definitely don't. There's some real downsides to these, to this volume and these sounds. But yeah, I'll come back to that after I flew more planes. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye. If you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button, become part of this community. If you are already a subscriber, don't forget to like the video. Do leave me a comment, and if you really feel like helping out today, make sure to share the video with your friends and let them know about the channel.